Well, hello everyone. Hello live viewers and non-viewers that are watching this VOD style later. Welcome to our second episode of Savage Trippers. We do have some familiar faces, and well, I can't even say he's not a familiar face because he's been on here before on the channel.
Yeah, this isn't my first rodeo.
Just not this group of yahoos.
Hey.
Yahoos. I mean, that can be offensive if you still have a Yahoo email address. And
you deserve the derision if you do.
I know some of you do. I think I do actually somewhere too.
Can we talk about my Hotmail account?
That was what I was about to say.
Do you also want to talk about like maybe Rocket Mail back in the day?
CompuServe.net.
Yes.
Yeah, but who's your top 8 friends on MySpace?
Actually, what was it?
Your
No,
agent.
I know one of them.
Yeah. Everybody had one. So we're gonna go ahead. I think we just cut right into the game here. We're gonna start where T4 Cole is. So as Switch parks the ship for repairs and finds lodging in the area, T4 Cole finds a station to power down and find whatever you would call rest to get ready and upload and download the processes of the day so they doesn't miss anything the next time around. Very diligent about doing those. So while in standby mode, slowly starts to power up a little bit, and you see a small small framed creature, humanoid, gray skin, pretty short, looking at your power up system to try and get you out of standby mode. A small little voice is going, "Come on, I know how to do this. I know how I can figure this out. I've done this before."
Boop.
At that moment, there's beeps, boops, and the creature goes, "Oh, T4. Yeah. We got to do some stuff real quick. Are you okay with that? They need our help. They're out. They're stuck somewhere, so we got to take care of some things." So you can go. This creature
T4
understands your language completely.
Okay, then T4 will then will just nod. He won't say much more, but he'll nod as in response to that. He will I assume the standby mode is some sort of either crouched or sitting position or something like that nature, or maybe it's just standing, but he'll fully power up and disconnect himself from the station, and just gesture away from himself in an effort to say, "Hey, lead on." So.
And he holds out his hand, doesn't know how to greet you, waves, holds out a hand again, taps you on the head, jumps up to tap you on the head, and go, "Oh, it's really close by. It's really close by. So can you download this real quick?" And it's a small chip that you could put inside of your memory base.
As I will reach behind myself to insert in my memory banks, before allowing it to fully process, can I do a quick virus check?
Absolutely.
For any kind of
So it would be on you. It would be like a hacking. Or notice being or even an investigation, whatever you feel would, since you are actually an android.
I'm gonna say it's a notice. It's probably the best one for that. So that'll be a d6 for moi, right?
Yes. You
Okay.
well, if you have that as a 6, then you roll a d6 in addition to that.
So 2d6.
Correct.
Or
And
okay.
choose the highest.
Gotcha. That'll be a 5
Okay.
out of the 2.
So what you're noticing inside as you're going through the numbers vertically through the matrix of it, and you find out that nothing malicious,
Okay.
but it does deaden some of your sensories, in the sense of like touch, smell, taste, just a small amount.
Okay. Gotcha.
We have to take a trip. So we had to catch this right. It's close by. It's close by, so we gotta go. I just don't want to lose your consciousness. So that I just kind of gotta soften you up a bit. Is that okay? T4, we gotta go. Switch and Jace, they need you.
T4 nods. Is there anything else on this stick outside of that?
No.
Okay.
So-
he'll nod again and then proceed to, again gesture for him to lead on, or them to lead on. Excuse me.
So he leads you outside. He just outside down maybe 1 or 2 docking stations from where the ship was, where Switch parked for repairs, and he grabs your arm and holds it up in the air. And as you can see on your right thumb, there's a small ring that has some like circuits around it. And he holds up one also with his right hand.
Mhm.
And next thing you know, you show up. If a robot could feel a little nauseous and a little bit dizzy and a little tingly, we are now in a freight ship.
Gotcha.
And you know this because you've been on a freighter before. But we're in a freight
Okay.
ship in space.
Gotcha. So this would not be a specifically new phenomena for T4.
The travel is
Okay.
for you. The travel
Okay.
is, but the freight ship itself, no, not new.
Gotcha.
And while you're recovering and Nosh's over there, this small character goes over there and pulls his bag out, unlocks a case, and a very bright, sparkling orb is in there, and he's putting in some coating, and it just disappears. And then he puts the case back, and he goes, "Okay, it won't be long. It won't be long. Now we just wait a little bit. Can we wait?
How long?
Oh, let me check. Am I doing that out loud?
T4 will nod as he asks
That happens sometimes. Sorry. Oh, give us a little while. And it's a little bit like probably half of a solar, half of a day, basically, goes by. And this one he looks over and goes, oh, we gotta go again. Real quick. Let's go. And holds up your hand again. And next thing you know, you both are standing in the middle of a room of chairs, and like 3 or 4 of them are destroyed, and we're standing right on top of them, and this little creature just runs out of the room.
I will move to follow.
Okay. At that point, let's go ahead and pause the story a little bit.
Sure.
And let's go. We are now back to where the rest of you are. Who feels really excited about doing a recap today?
I can do it.
All right. So,
I think I
I
remember
was
what
about to
happened.
say 1, 2, 3, not it.
and feel free on here if you want to do it in character, out of character. It's totally up to you. But give us, a recap of what happened last episode.
I would do it in character, but I feel like that's going to get really annoying really fast.
Right.
So we all,
right.
we all individually in our wherever we were after a day's work or after a mission, what have you, we all went to sleep. Had a very restful sleep, almost suspiciously restful, some might say, as we all fell asleep and felt the words or heard the words, I am comfortable, I am rested, this is just what I needed. And then upon awakening, we all found ourselves in, again, individually, our perfect, wonderful place that we really wanted to be. Some people were in a spa, some people were in a fancy city, and I was in the library, in my favorite library. And so, despite that being very wonderful, we all were able to see each other doing the activities that they were doing in their own place, which is a really complicated thing to try to explain with words. But we, after becoming aware of each other, found very quickly that there was something suspicious going on, and we were interrupted by a person, a construct of some sort, Hal, if I remember the name right, who informed us that he was the concierge to help us be more relaxed and have a nice, relaxing day off. And that upset us because we were not having a good day off anymore now that we all were with each other. We found pretty quickly that we could essentially choose where we wanted to be, so we decided to be in the bar, naturally. And from there, we, tried various methods of escape. Switch eventually was able to hack their way out of this construct into their own actual body, was able to then free the rest of us from the construct, where we found ourselves in a room full of very seemingly hastily put together chairs meant for, I think, something like 40 or 50 people, but only the 5 of us were there. And I had done some research while we were in the simulation that this was technology from the Observance, but once we were in the real world, we were able to see that this was definitely not an observant ship. It was kind of technology cobbled together and put together kind of in a slapdash way. Dahl destroyed a couple chairs, because why not? And we left to try to figure out if we could find the bridge or somewhere else. Hal was still there, at least in voice, if not in actual person, but still seemed unable to really answer any of our questions. So we went to what I guess serves as the bridge, or at least a little power room, and quickly found that the power was turning off all over the ship. And after a couple unsuccessful attempts to stop that from happening, and the discovery of a kitchen and a one-way mirror looking into the room of chairs, neither of which proved particularly fruitful, we found ourselves greeted by a strange small creature who said that we needed to go with him. That's what I remember.
Perfect.
Well done.
And
You have served your purpose, droid.
What was the middle part again?
Dahl destroyed some chairs, I think was and then tried to destroy the actual simulation itself. I think that was
We're all highly confident that Dahl's chainsaw is very effective.
With the
Yes.
chainsaw,
It is.
yeah, no doubt.
So
It runs on
Jane-
cat hair, so it's perfect.
Meaning it's powered by cat hair.
Exactly.
oh, that's amazing.
So just so people know, so Dahl and I, my character Bukan, are Rushikans, which are cat people, and everybody else is a robot. They may or may not know it.
how dare you? I am a human. I am a human person. I am not a robot. That is a funny joke, but it doesn't get funnier the more you tell it.
He's a robot.
Ha 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 ha. No,
Exactly what
I am a
robot would
human.
say.
So as you guys grouped together and everything powered down and rebooted, and you're in the room with this small gray creature, small framed, gray skin, and actually short in stature, also not very tall. Once everything starts to reboot and he stands there smallly in this little voice and it's like, I gotta put these on, and he's handing out some of those small rings with circuits on them, hand them to you as Switch and Jace hear a familiar, I want to say quote unquote voice coming from the other room, You hear a series of beeps and boops coming from the other room, and you two recognize it as T4 Cole.
Just to refresh.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, just to refresh my memory, how recent has the merge been for T4 Cole? Because they it could be. The reason I'm bringing that up is that T4 used to be an android before this, so they probably recognize it more as T4 than just T4 Cole. I don't know. Sorry, I'm just. We'll make it. All right. Yes, you at least recognize it as T4, if not T4 Cole. Sorry.
Do you want to be addressed by T4?
Well, it's more like the last time we probably still saw each other. It was before the merge,
Right.
So it would be you would be more T4 than T4 Cole, but we'll record it across that bridge.
Well, let's find out.
Yeah.
T4, it is good to see you, my friend. How are you? It has been too long since we have seen each other. What are you
Howdy.
doing here?
Your small gray friend asked me to stop by. Asked me to help y'all. So
Oh, we're fine. We don't need help. Why does he think we need help? We got this.
he will.
I think we
reach
need a lot
in-
of help.
He'll reach into his forearm and pull out 2 earpieces and pass them one to both you, Doll, and one to Brucon. And essentially for both of you, it'd be a set of beeps and boops until the earpiece is in, and then the earpiece will translate that for you. So,
How would we
Yes,
know this?
Dull and Brucon, this is our good friend T4. He will help you understand what he says.
technically, my designation nowadays is T4 Cole, as the the onboard motherboard of T4 was fried in an incident, and they replaced it, and that for designation is now T4 Cole. T4 works still, but technically.
Works
So
for
without the
me.
earpiece, you sound like a modem.
Sort of, yeah. Basically, for like a modem or like a modem crossed with a droid that is not capable of speech but can make the beeps and boops of a basic in-out soundboard. So until
So as I slip in the earpiece, suddenly it gets translated into some mechanized voice.
it's you would still hear the beeps and boops, but you would also understand it through the earpiece as actual speech instead of me just going beep boop. But for the sake of everybody at home and us conversing with each other on a relatively easy plane, we're adding this in. So
Shoot, I thought you were gonna beep and boop the whole time. I mean,
as much as I would love to, I feel like it would
you
get real
beeping
old.
and booping and Peter's monotone. I was like, I'm the only one who's pretending not to be a droid. Right on.
No,
I love
I
it.
just wanted to make it easier for us.
No, make it difficult.
You guys
Which
are talking
could be-
beep and boops, and then Brucon and I can do a series of growls and snarls, and then that's how we can play.
Yeah, and then the entire campaign for anybody who's doing this based off of solely listening is just confused.
Yes.
So, Brucon and Doll, do you have an earpiece for your meows or no?
No, I think we're just talking,
Okay, cool.
because we're.
was
I
totally
assume
joking.
we've been, living okay and.
Switch, if
human society.
as a question to have that, why don't you, I don't know if it'd be notice or, let's see, let me pull up your,
Someone in the chat wants cat-powered technology, so
who doesn't?
Doll needs to figure that out. Maybe that'll be a combo thing you and I can do. We can figure out cat-powered technology things between the droid and the droid and the
I
cat.
think we can make it happen.
When we purr, it sends out beta waves and it makes you sleep.
Yeah, there you go.
I think we just abandon the whole mission and try and monetize this, and that's our whole campaign is the marketing and development of cat-powered technology.
You
Or
heard
at
it
least
here
a cat
first.
a cat hair powered vacuum cleaner. Yeah,
You heard it here first, people. We
that
just
sounds like a
trademarked
catch
it.
22 though.
Just random
does.
inclinations to knock things off shelves. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only machine we make. Why don't you, for a skill check on you, Switch, since you asked that question,
Yo.
would you be asking them the same thing? Would you be role play that out a little bit? Like, how would you?
Out of character, I was totally joking.
No, about the growls. I'm talking about the growls, and
Yeah.
because realistically, you are hearing the same type of thing. You're hearing meows and snarls and growls, depending on. I mean, you heard a lot of snarls when the chainsaw came out, and you heard a lot of meow 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 when Brucon talks because it's so pish posh. He's so royal.
He's very refined.
Yeah, very refined. So it's a lot less gruffy over the years with than Doll. But you are noticing, you're hearing that, but you're knowing exactly what they're saying.
Doll, is there some sort of intonation and Brucon in your growls that we should be concerned about at this point?
I think it would mostly be Brucon because Doll doesn't know how to read or write. She's just kind of grown up, just absorbing stuff around her.
Okay. Anything we should be alarmed about in your meows and growls, Brucon?
For now, no. If you need to be alarmed, I will let you know.
How comforting.
Or it will be abundantly clear.
Takes a step away from Brucon.
I mean, for Doll, it's easy. Once the chainsaw is out, you know what's going to happen.
That is a clear indicator. Got it. Okay, cool. I'm gonna hack your chainsaw.
I would like, since you were the one that was inquisitive about it, Switch, go ahead and roll an electronics skill check.
Okay.
And I'm looking at your sheet there. It would be a D8
Eight.
and a D6.
Got a 6 on the 8 and a 3 on the 6.
Okay, so you got a 6.
it's
So
6.
what you're noticing is the reason you're still hearing that now, it's different for when it comes to Doll and Brucon understanding T4. Because T4 is definitely communicating through that earpiece. You can understand what's going on there. You are finding, though, Switch, that since you can understand their language, it's being translated through the halo that is still attached to your system.
Oh.
And you're finding out that's why you could, while you were in the hologram, you could totally understand each other like you were all speaking the same language.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. But out of character, my ability and Jace's ability to understand T4 is just our innate ability.
Yeah,
because
you guys you're androids.
Okay.
So that's a very simple communication.
That's our language.
There, but everything seems to be very well understood. At least the dialect and understanding what they're saying, why they're saying it. That's going to be different. That's going to be a whole social problem.
Remains to be seen.
Androids and kitties. So
Okay, got it.
depends on what you want to do. That's the information you got. Did you want to do anything with that information?
Not right now. No. Gonna keep it to myself for the moment. I guess. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it to myself for the moment. Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, Scooter, real quick. So I have an additional language that I speak besides native. So I assume native means Rushikan. So I had language of major ally. Does it make sense to kind of pick what that is now? Or
You can pick that at any time. And if anybody's watching the show, what we're doing here, as a little we'll back up a little bit and explain, since we're only on episode 2. This is our first time playing Savage Worlds ever, and normally when I run a game, I really like for people to be able to adapt their character for the first few episodes. So when it comes to backstory, I like to allow you to do that if you'd like. You don't need to do that right now. You could in the future, over the next few episodes, as we encounter other things, and then go forward from there. Or you can pick something specific right now and just go with it. It's totally up to you when it comes to your planet and your language.
Well, I'll just go ahead. So I'll just say that I, am fluent enough in the language of my country's most close and trusted ally, the name of which escapes me at the moment. But they're a neighboring country, sort of like the Canada to U.S. if the Canadian accent was actually a different language.
It can be.
So French.
Okay.
Canadian. Yes.
I have another out of character question.
Yeah, go for it.
Sorry, getting like granular here, but if we can understand T4 and his beeps and bops, I assume then we both, Jason and I, can repeat that language as well.
You would be able to. You can understand it. It's not. Your systems are not capable of.
Could I speak it? I guess duplicate it.
I don't know if you
have a
duplicate
decoder.
it.
You don't have an encoder.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. You understand it and can translate it, but that doesn't mean you can speak it fluently. It may be very limited vernacular.
Okay.
It's kind of like if you do understand, if you understand another language, a lot of times you can consume it and understand exactly what they're saying and tell somebody else, but that doesn't mean you can speak it. That's all.
Yeah. We probably won't be having long secret conversations with T4.
No, but I just
only half.
I was just meaning, something secret alarm, quick and message. That's all.
You could do that, not like verbally, but we are androids, so our ability to probably message each other via computer speak is probably another thing we could do instead.
Your own
the reason
personal Wi-Fi.
Yeah, the only reason that he doesn't speak normally is because his voice modulator is all sorts of borked, and that's why it only does beeps and boops. Which is why he can't speak normally, like you guys can.
Right on.
From accidents that have happened. So.
And for some reason, the Halos are allow like Switch and Jace to understand us, and for us to understand them, but not T4 Cole.
Yeah, T4 Cole is he doesn't have a Halo on. He was not in one of the chairs.
Oh, okay.
So he was not present. He showed up. From what you guys understood, he showed up with this creature that got teleported into the middle of the ship.
Okay, and that creature's still there.
The creature is still with you and still has his hands out, going, guys, you kind of need these. You won't use them right now, but you will need them. I don't care if you wear them. I don't care if you put them in your pocket. You're gonna need these.
T4, I'm glad you're here. What is he holding out? These are the rings. What do they look like?
Yeah, they're very small. It's like a circuit board in a circular fashion. They're not gorgeous. They're not fancy. Sorry, Brucon. But they're kind of rough and tough. So Doll might like them because they look kind of badass.
Like rings you wear, or rings that like
yeah, they're rings you would wear.
Like a keychain ring. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it would fit around, and you will see, and this creature that's sitting there, that's down there holds up, and he has one on his thumb, and he taps over on T4 on his thumb, and they're both wearing one.
Oh, T4 has one on already. Correct. Okay, sorry, I totally missed that.
I'll place one on a pinky finger, a pinky claw.
Yeah, if I see T4 wearing one, I'll grab one and just put it on.
T4, did you scan the ring for viruses or any malware?
Would that have been what I put on earlier, or no? Is that already
No,
on?
that was the chip you put in the back.
Okay.
We're not gonna get pop-ups, are we?
Negative. It was on when I got up from standby. No pop-ups.
Cool. Doll's gonna attach it to her one of her earrings on her ear.
Sorry, T4, did you say you scanned it? No.
Did not negative, but
did
there's
not.
been no negative impact since, and I woke up from standby with this. So.
And as
Can I
as you're speaking, the chip itself, the download that you took in the software, I mean, it came from a chip, but you don't have the chip. That sensory has dissipated.
Okay.
So you don't have any sort of tingling anymore.
The-
All your senses are all completely back.
The dampening software has been removed.
Yeah.
Does Brucon and I know? Do we know how the androids know each other?
No.
Okay, we're just like they seem oddly familiar with each other. So switch. How do you know T4 Cole?
T4, we were on a ship together at some point.
We were.
We got
Oh.
lost.
All three of us were. Both of them got lost off, and that was before the merge happened. And then not too long after that, a catastrophe hit that ship. Where things got dropped off, or after that, and then that's when the merge happened. So that's how I know them, is from working on the ship together with all of them. And I'm guessing based on the programming problems that Jace is currently experiencing, that something damaged on the fall.
I have no memory of this. I woke up on a planet, and I was very happy there. And I work in the library. But they found me there, and they have been very friendly with me, and they have taken me to see many worlds and many places, and it is very happy for me.
That is good. We will have to get your memory sorted out when we get to the chance. And
My memory is impeccable. I have done lots of research. As long as I have my books, I can find anything I need.
we will address that when we get to.
The 3-year-old kid is like, okay, all right, yes. You're...
We will,
I'm not sure about my memories. I just know that I recognize them and I feel like I've known them before, but I don't know what memories are actual real or what has happened to me or what has been programmed. But there is a familiarity with them, so I try to keep Jace in line.
Good.
I still want to scan the ring for viruses. I'm suspicious.
Go for it.
I like it. It's very stylish.
Yeah, and again, since
Sorry,
you
Jace,
are
but
a
no, it's
droid-
not. It is not stylish at all.
To each their own, I suppose.
Will that be hacking?
Whatever you feel. I mean, if you feel like electronics,
I
hacking,
guess it would be either. That'd be the same die anyway.
notice. Since I mean, I'll let droids roll notice when it comes to electronics, but it would have to be a different skill for things that are not droids. So,
It was a 7.
a 7. You are noticing that it seems to not even be turned on. You see circuits on it. You can hack into it and plug into it. There's not much that you can understand in the coding, and it seems to be unfinished in the coding, and nothing.
Does it tie into the observant technology?
No, it does
Observance
not.
technology? Okay.
It does not. But it doesn't tie directly, and not the way that you would before, but realistically, in this current era of technology, most things will have some sort of connection with that age-old technology from the observance, because that's where the leaps and bounds of technology came from.
Got it.
But nothing specific like it's observance. It's current technology, but it's just something you quite have never seen put together before, because it's kind of broken. It's put in a lot of different pieces, the coding.
Well, I guess there's no harm if this does something to one of us, it'll do it to all of us. And Switch will take the ring and put it on. Does anything happen when we put the ring on?
No.
Little guy, what do these things do?
And you're speaking to the little gray creature that's up at the front, and he's up at the front. You went into the room and talked to T4, and he's yelling back. He's still trying to program some stuff up in the front, and the power goes, what? Who's that? Oh, hey, Switch. Give me a second. What'd you ask? What do you mean about little things?
What? No, that was you. What does the ring do?
Oh, the rings.
Hate this guy.
He goes back to work. Seems to like be thinking about something else.
Hey, little guy.
No,
I'll
Little
talk
guy.
with the little guy.
little guy.
Switch.
Little guy. Oh,
Excuse me.
I'm the little guy.
What was your name?
Oh, they call me Bit.
Bit.
Even though
Do you know what
nobody's ever
these?
said that name for a long time.
Well, that's a shame. It's such
Nobody
a lovely
talks to
name.
me.
Bit, could you tell me
Oh.
what do these rings do?
Oh, they help you catch a ride. Yes, catch a ride.
A ride to where?
Oh, whatever's there. You just got to be there at the right time. You'll need them.
I see. Are we not on the ride right now?
Oh, we're on a ride. Oh, that was another thing. Hold on. Anybody want another download? I got
Always?
I got the map to the ship. To the one we're on. Yeah. Anybody want that?
Yes, I'll take that.
Oh,
I want
here you go.
downloads. Give me
I
all
would
the
love to
downloads.
add a map to my book.
So he he programs on a little machine here, and there's a broadcast that the three androids can sense the android, whether you can sense the program being broadcast, whether you guys want to download it or not. But he's telling you, it's like, I got in here. I've got the stuff. The little, it's a map. It's kind of like layout. Yeah, layout map. And you see that broadcast.
Cole will obviously run.
Excuse me,
and-
Bit, is there a way for me to see this map?
Let me see. Not from me.
I will be happy to draw the map for you. As a human, I cannot download things, but I am very intuitive, and I do think I understand the layout of the ship, and I can draw it for you if you would like, Brokon.
You have materials to draw?
I always have writing and reading materials with me in my bag.
And your bag is with you?
That is a good question. I think we did determine we had all our stuff with us.
It wasn't on your person when you got up, but it was haphazardly just kind of shoved over into a corner and kind of in a graded section to where you could see it. It wasn't really locked up real tight because you guys were not even really there, but it was all there.
Great. Yeah, so I'll draw the map that I think that I just intuitively understand.
So you will get a paper version of the map. It'll take him a little while to go ahead and jot that down, even though he is quite good at it, and strangely very fast.
So yeah, it's like a dot matrix printer.
Yeah,
Doll is very intrigued by his drawing, and she's trying to paw at the pen.
Yeah,
No,
like the
no,
first
no.
row is yellow. The next time he goes over, it's red. And just,
Little ASCII.
yeah.
You guys keep dating us. Keep dating us.
What would you guys? I mean, you do have the layout of it. You do notice that it really is just a very square ship that's not meant to really. It's not a jet or flies fast or anything with that effect. It's really meant to just move slowly through space. and it's basically just moves from one place to the other. You do see in the map that the center of it is, of course, all the chairs you've seen, and the sides. You do see a map on there of where a ship, a small carrier ship for humanoids or beings is there, and then on the map you see 2 escape pods that are on there. It's not really the opposite corner, but basically past the kitchen that Doll was hanging out in. So that's really all you see on there, and of course viewing stations kind of around the perimeter to view inside of the places where they're sitting. You guys were sitting and plugged in.
Excuse me, Bit. What is the purpose of this ship? How did we find ourselves to be here, and how did you find us? And how do you know us?
Bit. Yes, they haven't called me Bit. I haven't heard my name in a long time. We all know of you. You guys, we needed your help. We're trying to find some people. I used to work for an alliance back in the day, but they're not around any longer. So, I guess I'm their only hope. I don't know. I think that was in something I saw once.
Are you the only one on the ship, little guy?
You're here, right? This isn't. I'm not plugged in, am I? You're here, right?
Besides us, besides who you see, and
Ooh.
besides you, is there
no.
anyone else on the ship?
Ship's clear. Ship's clear. We cleared it out. Remember, I sent in a little glitch. Had to shut it down so that wouldn't take you to where they wanted you to go. And I don't know who they are. I know that, Observance Technology. It's definitely not one of theirs, though. I don't know who this is, who owns this ship, but I think we own it now.
So you're saying, Bit, that this is Observant Technology, but it is not them behind it?
Oh, yeah. It's definitely Observance. It's very messy.
So in essence, you saved us from whoever was using this Observant Technology.
Well, I'm hoping. I hope I did an okay job. I guess we'll find out, because we're still in the middle of somewhere. Yeah, we're somewhere.
Well, at
You
least
said-
it's not nowhere.
We're between planets still, right?
Yeah, you do know. I think we recognized that last time that you were
Right.
basically in a place that was many light years from any location. Switch. You did get a location, but it's not a location that
Right.
you've ever been to or anybody you know is ever
In the
been
middle
to.
of nowhere.
Somewhere.
Why is it, little guy?
Bit,
Are you paying
his name's Bit.
attention?
Look, Switch. Hello.
I like calling him little guy.
Hi.
Why did you save us?
Oh, we have to go find others.
More cats?
Maybe. I don't get to decide who they are.
Who does? Who does decide who you save and who you need?
Oh, well, the Alliance. It was. It used to be called. It used to be called the TSA. And now I'm just kind of working on my own. They're not around anymore.
So then wouldn't that mean that you decide? If there is no one else around and you are doing your job, who is telling you how to do your job, if not you?
All I know is where to find them. I never know who they are, and until we get in proximity of them. We have to get in that area, and then we find out what they are. Because the Status Alliance is now like it's not broadcasting anymore.
Jace, can you look up what the TSA is and tell us all?
Yes, I will check my research notes for what the TSA is or was. Remembering how to play.
As Jason.
Reasonable acronym.
his notes. Is there?
Transportation Security Administration.
Does this ship look like it's been a freighter that's been repurposed for this experiment, or is it purely observant technology that's been utilized in such a manner?
Who are you asking?
I'm asking you.
You're asking Bit?
I'm asking Osbit.
Little guy.
Osbit, little guy. I'll kind of squat down next to him as he's working on whatever he's working on, and just kind of. So, did somebody repurpose this, or?
Would your character, would T4 Cole have some sort of access port?
I would say so. I think
Like-
there'd be a few of them
like
throughout his bot. Like I assume there'd be more than one, just for ease of use for both him using access ports and technology. Like probably like the base of the wrist would be one that I could think of that'd be easier to access than like the neck.
Okay. So,
Or some sort of dongle.
yeah. He's about to get dongled. So, as Bit is over there just, and here's the, and grabs a little cable that comes out of the machine that he's working with, and very quickly swings over and goes to
As he
I
goes
want
to
see
do
if he
that,
does it.
I will react to that too.
Yeah, because he's not even looking. He's just.
Yep, and I would like to try to at least catch the wrist. He'll. It's more the quick movement without clarifying.
Yeah, he's just
yeah.
because he's listening.
Yep. Does he stop? Is he trying to put it in or just hand it over?
Oh, he's trying to put it in.
Okay, cool. Then I will. I'd like to stop that and at least get him to like explain himself first, because. So
Where would you want to do on the skills then? Or you could just do basically agility.
Yeah, I could do an agility. That's a
with
D6
you
and a
is-
D8.
Yep, and
Right.
you roll a D8 and a D6.
Cool.
But it is a bit like it's a live organism, right? It's not an android. Does it kind of look like
You
a
could,
rat?
I
that
mean,
doll
from all
can
perception
chew on?
stake, yeah, you could see it's small, gray skin, kind of leathery, no hair anywhere, and yeah, kind of dried and just looks very agile, but
I just
very,
pictured
looks old.
Gollum.
In a sense, but looks very old and not still resilient, looking, but small framed. Like it's been around for a while, but still has a lot of spunk for something that looks very old.
Okay.
That you
This
asked.
is 7 for you.
7. Okay. And if anybody's looking at watching Savage Worlds as we play, your basic roll that you're trying to succeed is over a 4 as we go forward. If it's something super difficult, it becomes 8 is what you're trying to roll against. So yeah, you catch it without a problem.
Mhm.
And you catch it,
Catch it.
and he goes, and it goes,
You gonna explain this or?
now he just starts going and you explain. You wanted to know.
Okay. And then he'll connect it.
So Doll wants to just go up to, because she hasn't interacted with it at this point, except for taking the ring and stuff. So she's gonna just like watch him for a little bit, and then like go close to him and sniff him. Does he smell like bad or?
Dirt and old. It's almost like, I mean, really, it's an old smell. It's not gross, but you can smell that he's been on many freighter ships. He's been traveled a lot, and hygiene is not his thing, but he doesn't have anywhere to create his own smell. So the only smells that you get off him is not the creature's smell, but you get the smell of like maybe where he's been, especially with your senses. You'd be able to know that, man, he's been around grease, dirt, oil, grass. You can smell all
Grandma's
of those
attic.
things. Yeah. So hopefully nobody's allergic. And he's looking at you a little bit because he's a little disconcerted because you're a cat.
Mm. Yeah, I'm just like, he's right here. I'm just like doing this.
Must be a cat thing to smell things.
Doll, you might be kind of freaking out our friend a bit here.
Yeah, but he hasn't explained anything. So I just want to see what he's up to.
Oh, and I rolled a 5 on research to figure out what the TSA, or to remember what the TSA is.
Perfect. Okay, so we'll go with Jace, and then we'll go to T4. So Jace, when it comes to the TSA, it's more of a lore than it is in any written official documents. But there was something that researched the status of trippers. This is something that's supposed to be coming out, every 42 millennia. It's more of a lore thing that definitely the observance did follow this very religiously, not scientifically, but more like became more of a cultish. That's where the observance kind of came from. But it was the TSA was the Tripper Status Alliance. So he comes from the alliance of trying to research where the trippers actually are. So, yeah. And then when it comes to T4, you're finding out this ship itself is definitely not built for this purpose. This is almost not a ship.
Gotcha.
In a sense.
So it's like one of the to maybe convey it with today's terminology, it's like one of the barges a tugboat would push.
And it's like a freight container that was like altered into a ship. It was not meant to leave planets, but it currently is. And as described before, all the stuff, the last episode was all the cables are everywhere. There's no real walkways, nothing to that effect. It's pretty, it's put together. It's a makeshift or haphazardly made into a ship.
Nobody's taking time to put cabling underneath floorboards or anything like that.
Nothing like that.
Is this able to reach any sort of network outside of the ship, or are we limited to here?
You can find out. You can check. What's
I'd
T4
like to
want
check.
to do?
Am I hooked up to the ship right now? Is that what that
You're
cable's
hooked up
for?
to his mechanism that's hooked up to the ship.
So
He didn't hook
past
you
the-
directly up to the ship.
Gotcha.
He hooked up to his machine that is accessing the ship that powered it down. Well, it got powered down, and then he powered it down in a certain way, and then it got powered back up. He powered it up and is trying to get the systems back up online.
Gotcha.
You could tell that for sure.
Okay. Gotcha.
Does it sound like we're moving?
There's no feel
is
of
it like a,
movement.
you know,
You're
that sort of-
stationary. But you're in space. So, but you're not feeling any push.
There's no vibration or background hum like we're actually like going anywhere.
No, you're hearing systems booting up, but it's not currently moving.
Is there anything on the map we got that looks more like an actual control room? I know we tried to find the bridge in the last episode and kind of just found this little power station. Is there anything marked on that map of like actual control room rather than weird little closet?
The only thing that really is not marked, it's not marked control room, but it would look like a control room, is the place you were actually in.
And Brucon, looking at the map, is there anything looking like engines?
Yeah, there is. They're on all four corners. So you can see that it's a very big, just a crate, but there are on four corners, there's the engines for the propulsion of. It's kind of like if you look at the map itself, on each four corners they have small jets that would come out from those engines just to keep it afloat and keep it going in a certain direction. not to go any faster, not to flip over, just to stay as stationary as possible.
Did you
More-
say there
more-
were 2
more-
escape pods?
On the map, you see 2 escape pods, and in front of that, a ship. A smaller,
you try to-
like a small
Oh.
ship.
How big would this small ship?
It'd probably carry like up to 12 humanoid
Okay,
creatures.
decent size.
Yeah, enough to carry a small team to somewhere back and forth.
According to
Were
the
you
words
escaping?
of Bender Bending Rodriguez, let's go!
So we're escaping already. Sorry, go ahead, Peter.
Oh, I had nothing.
Was that an attempt to talk to T4? Just the can I plug into the system anywhere? I do have. I do
You've
have a
already
jack-
hacked into the system
Oh,
a
yeah,
couple
I already
times,
hacked into the
so
Do
the
I have
accessibility
the-
is pretty easy. It's getting easier for you switch to just kind of read what the ship's doing.
And I can pilot it at this point with little guy's help. Could I?
You can always try.
This is probably not a ship we'd get very far very fast in. Just
Yeah.
And you do know that the way it's built is it's not to get anywhere in any timely manner. It's just to make sure that it gets there. And it, like
Okay.
before, it was an automated system before that would take you from one place to the next. You did know that.
Okay.
I wonder if we might be able to open some sort of cargo door to use this other ship inside the ship. We might be able to leave in that fashion and not be trapped in this slow-moving box.
But go where? We don't know where we are. We don't know what direction to go.
Dave
This
has
is true.
been over there doing
And
his thing.
leaving
We
this
should-
big giant ship to get into an even smaller ship?
It is true,
Without
but
knowing
without
the
any
rest of
kind
that?
of without any kind of verifiable control center in this ship, I do not know if it is possible to pilot this ship. It seems as though it was meant to automatically take us from one point to another.
But
Hey,
it
Bit.
stopped. So, hey, Bit, what was your intention saving us and being here? What is your mission?
I don't really know. But I do know that we need to find more. We need more.
I'm gonna grab him. More what?
I'm trying to boot up the ship. Switch.
You're trying to boot it up?
Where are we going?
Yeah. We're not going anywhere at this point. But we need to find where the trippers are. It's been a while, and we're not. A lot of us are not going to make it through this one. I'll be done soon. You can see
How
like
long?
he's very timid and very scared of you. He was already
Good.
concerned of Doll, and now he's scared of you.
What can
I
we do to
don't-
help?
So switch. Let's put Bit down. Let him do his job.
But what is his job?
I heard that.
He's not doing
Just said-
anything. He's not
He's
answering
trying
his
to
questions.
Trying.
Ship.
He's trying to get the ship started again.
But why do we
I'm
want the
setting
ship
a
to be
timer.
Just sort of drifting through space, at least by booting up the rest of the systems on the ship, we will get somewhere.
We'll do
And
what? We'll be back on
somewhere
track to
is at
go
least
to the place
forward.
that he was trying to prevent us from going.
Right? But it seems that he does have our interests at heart.
I don't know. Does
So
he?
let's maybe help him.
Bit.
You can have the ship when I'm done. I just wanted you guys to be safe and have the ship so that you can find more of the trippers. That's the only thing I knew, and you guys disappeared. But I found T4, but you guys weren't there.
It's a bit. None of us know what a tripper is. And we have no mission to find trippers, whatever that is.
I don't know what they are either. All I know is that if we don't get them together, then the end of pretty much space and time kind of just doesn't exist anymore.
So who sent you to find us?
That's been our culture's mission forever.
You are the ones who are sent to find people to stop the trippers.
TSA, yeah. I
Okay.
haven't talked to them in a
So,
long
like,
time though.
Tripper Stopping Association.
I believe it is the
Status.
Tripper Status Association. I did find it in my research notes.
Gotcha.
It is a long defunct organization that it is not anymore officially, or as far as anybody knows, operating. But our friend here seems to be coming from them, and so we only have his word to go on.
Jace, what did the TSA do?
They simply tried to find when and where the trippers would be. I don't know what I got from a 5 research roll on that, and I don't want to make up stuff that's not true.
No, it's pretty much like I was saying. It's lore more than it is any science behind it. But it has to do with many millenniums past, and they show up every 42 to try and put space and time back in place because the clock ticks to 42 millennium, and that's when everything gets completely in disarray. And then they get together to make sure and put it back into a form to where we can all use it again. That structure, became a religion from the observance, put it into a religion when it was lore before. But that's what you're looking for, is the group of trippers that would be able and have the capabilities to do that.
I see.
I think perhaps that to get the ship up and running again, Switch and T4 should stay with our friend Bit, and perhaps Dahl and Brucon, you can come with me and we can explore the rest of the ship, perhaps look at the lifeboats and see if they are functional just in case T4 or Switch do something wrong.
I'm almost finished. I think here can be.
I think that's a marvelous idea, Jace.
What are you insinuating, library man? We don't do things wrong.
But this is unfamiliar technology. I merely mean that if something were to happen unforeseeable, we might want to be near or in the life pods.
Fair.
Familiar technology coming from an android.
Haha. No, I am a human. This is so funny.
T4, he's
I do
been
like you,
doing this
T4. You are a
ever
jokester.
since.
Okay. Do we have? Hey, but do you have a spare cable? I just need to borrow it for a second.
What kind?
Similar to the access ports.
Oh, yeah. And he
Why
pulls
was
out
he
and
so
it's like,
excited?
Thank you.
That is good. Switch will also need a cord to plug in.
yeah, I have those too. I don't talk to a lot of people.
I knew this box of cables would come in handy.
The drawer of spare cables.
A junk drawer of spare cables.
So I know
easily that you
What, a
can find
SCSI cable?
Is there,
God.
is there a like standardized port for androids that at least, even if they don't have other access ports, they have at least one?
Well, the way the ports would work on an Android when it comes to the cables in this technology, the cables themselves they don't have necessarily a port on the end that fits or doesn't fit. It's more of at the end of the cable, when you put it up to a port, it alters to fit into the port.
But there's
so
more of my asking is, do I know of where that location of that port would be on an android?
well, on you, yeah.
Yeah, but would it be standardized across androids? Is my other question.
Depends on the model and whether they're sentient or they think they're human. Because at this point in this, where you're at right now, androids can be ancient technology.
Gotcha.
But they can also be modern technology depending on where you are and what galaxy you're in. So they can be very, very different. But the cables that you know of and you see him using, it can almost create a port inside of an android.
if by chance this android did not believe he was an android,
You just have to make him strip, right?
would the like you're saying with the port kind of just adjusting to the cord?
Depends.
Is this a thing that happens totally subconsciously, or something that might have to be done controlledly?
That would be up to your build, Jace. So if you are full Android and absolutely have no idea, then it may not work for you because it does have to be part of the systems, and somebody can't just do it to you unless they force you or reprogram you. You have to do it willingly, right? So your system, if it's blocking that out, then it's just not going to plug into you.
Either way, I think that I would like to go look at the ship and not stay here in the control room where there is nothing good for me to do.
Go find a library. Maybe they have a library on the ship.
Oh my god, is there a library on the map?
No.
Okay, so we go and explore.
So who's going exploring?
Me.
Brukan is going to go right to the lifeboats, and the ship and that area. Just kind of see what's there.
What about? I think Dahl was headed that way too, right? Were you going that way? And Jace, were you headed that way?
Yes. Yeah.
In case they had a library on the lifeboats.
I would like nothing more than to find a library, but our first priority should be to make sure the lifeboats are functional.
Give a book, lend a book.
Oh, can you try to keep your chainsaw, in your...
Holstered.
I was going to say something else, but then I changed my mind. Can you try to keep your chainsaw... PC, can you try to keep your chainsaw holstered? Because I fear with the condition of this ship that if you hit anything in excess, it might not get us out of here.
Yes, I think for now I agree with the lifeboats, so I will keep it holstered as long as nothing attacks.
Okay, thank you.
People floating through the vacuum of space in a fragile egg
I mean,
knows.
to damage the egg. That's just me.
I mean, if we got vacuum, we'd be fine. But
We need the cat vacuum.
yeah, definitely.
Well, as you two are sitting next, Switch and T4 are sitting next to Bit as he's still working on getting the ship's systems completely back up. Dahl, Brukan, and Jace, it's not difficult to find out where it's at because it was just that big empty room, and then on one side of this whole square is just all the access rooms. The rest of them were viewing rooms. So as you're going down there, it's only like probably 4 bays down to get into where the on the map you see a ship and 2 like escape pods. And as you guys are sitting next to a Bit, he's that's not no. Oh,
What do you?
oh,
What do you need?
okay. Before so remember this place. Remember this, guys. Vegetonia.
Vegetonia.
It's coming up
Okay.
in the system. In my okay. Oh no.
No?
We
Can
didn't
I-
get rid of the glitch, and at that moment, his ring, only his ring that's on his thumb, starts to light up. Vegetonia, guys, Vegetonia, and he disappears from the front with all of his equipment, and through like a light that it starts to come from the top, goes down underneath of him, and then he shoots. You can see like dissipates and goes up. You guys make it. Dahl and Brukan and Jace make it to where on the map there's a ship and 2 escape pods, and you make it to that room. No ship, and 1 escape pod is gone. And at this point, we'll take our 5-minute break.
I was holding my breath.
So yeah, we'll take a quick 5-minute. We'll be back like 5 minutes, guys. Okay. We'll see you soon, everyone out there. Stay tuned if you're watching.
We'll be back, chat.
We will be back very, very shortly. We're going to just take, a small refill break. Awesome. All right. Welcome back. We are back. We're going to get right back into the game here. You guys find yourself as, I don't know if I even need to reiterate, but you find yourself in the, three of you find yourself in the station where the ship is supposed to be, and 2 escape pods. One escape pod is gone, and the ship is not there. You did just see Bit, the one that was growing on Switch there, and very scared of you, of a few of you actually. Not by his own doing, as you could tell, was still like, uh-oh, and his ring he mentioned before he left, find Vegetonia, and he's like, oh no, the glitch is still here, and that's when his ring lit up, and basically you almost shot through a portal through up. Oh, you're in space, but up.
Up relative to us.
Yes, and his equipment is gone there with him, and that's where you guys find yourself at this point.
So we're bitless right now.
You're bitless.
Did we? I guess did the 3 of us see him disappear and
No.
talk about Vegetonia?
You guys made
Okay.
it to where that ship was.
How
Which
big
is
is this
honestly,
escape?
like I said, it's like if you were, it's only like 3 or 4 bays down, so it's not a long ways to get from one place to the other.
Jace, you will hear somehow T4 kind of reach out to you and go, Bit's gone, took his stuff with him, mentioned a place called Vegetonia, need a new plan.
I think that we should go ahead and tell the others what we have found, that there is only these 3. I think that they need us. I have a feeling that there's something that we should discuss with them. How big is this escape pod, by the way? Did these look like
They're only
particularly
one-
spacious?
Maybe 1 or 2 humanoids could fit in it, and it'd be. I mean, it's just an escape pod. It's like it's an emergency only type deal.
Does it look like the other one or the ship were that they were recently there?
The ship, you can, and that's easy to see just by a basic looking around. You can see that the ship has not been there for quite some time. Go ahead and investigate the pods, though. You can investigate the pods. I mean, would you have any sort of electronic from your planet, or would it be more? I'm just wondering where the technology from the planet you were from.
I have notice. Nothing specifically. I don't have a specific technology-related skill.
Okay, just do notice then. Do a notice skill check.
Okay. Four.
But you had a D4? What'd you roll on notice?
I have a D8.
Okay, so you rolled a 4 on a D8. And you rolled a D6 also?
I rolled a 4 on the D8 and a 3 on the D6.
Okay, so yeah, you got a 4, so it's a success. What you're noticing is there's kind of like a dusty layer where the ship was, right? But where the one pod shot out of, that has been recently used. We're talking within the last few hours.
Interesting.
Did-
I'll convey
when-
that to.
And you can kind of put
Doll
2 and
and,
2 together that
Ace.
the swoop is now not on the ship.
Oh yeah.
So it's pretty easy to know that
Oh,
the swoop's not on the ship, and you found where the
Right.
pods are, and a pod just shot off not that long ago.
we should check the kitchen for the remaining alcohol.
Yeah. Let's take a bet on what's there.
when Bit disappeared, was it did Bit leave? Did they leave anything behind, or just
The-
evaporated into the?
Shot up like he was teleported with his
Got it.
equipment. Now the kind of the cables, those are still there because they weren't part of really his equipment that he's sitting there. He already gave people cables and everything, but he went up. T4 can definitely recognize that what happened. It's happened to him once before, so he kind of can see what occurred.
Yeah, it's more me being able to see it from outside for the first time type thing.
Yeah.
So I would roughly know then that was him trying to go or not really trying to go somewhere if it was a glitch, but him getting teleported via the ring based on my knowledge, correct?
Yeah, I mean, you know that the ring is what teleported you onto this ship, and onto that carrier ship, that freighter ship, and then to here.
Yeah.
You do know that for sure, and you did see that his light up, and he didn't stick his thumb in the air.
No,
He was
so
working,
that's
and
where that
then the
glitch
ring
is.
turned on, and he was gone.
So I'm gonna immediately take the ring off
Yeah, I will also.
my finger
The ring.
and suggest that everyone else do the same.
Yeah, I guess we'll head back from the pod bay.
Wait, can we talk? Did you just do that with Jason?
Yeah,
I missed
yeah,
it. You totally
yep,
did that. Okay.
Yeah,
Then-
that's what I did. I did like a IM to another android.
And I got a
Instant-
sense.
you
I got a
instant
sense that we need to
messaged
go
him.
back and talk about something.
Right. Okay.
And
I'm very intuitive.
while I'm waiting for them
Yeah,
to
this-
come back, I would like to try to plug in with the cables that he was using on his equipment into the ship to try to finish whatever he started.
It's very easy to do because you could see where his equipment plugged in, and you can see. You haven't seen these before, T4, but you can see the power systems. They're all lit up and on full power at this point.
Okay.
But if you'd like to plug into there, it's totally up to you.
I would.
for it.
Yeah, I'd like to plug in because I figure that's also probably how we drive the ship. Because I don't really think there's probably not a steering wheel or yoke to mess around with.
Do you have hacking, correct?
I think it would make sense for my character to have it. I don't think I initially build it with it, but we can,
I mean,
if you don't mind me doing so, because I think it would make
depends
sense.
if you want to take. Yeah, as we fluid through building these characters, I feel like a basic hacking would make sense, but you would have to take something and move it down, and it doesn't have
I
to
would
be
say,
right. Doesn't have to be
can
right
we-
this second.
No, I have a pretty easy solve to this. I would actually like to just flip my persuasion to hack, if that's
Okay.
cool.
Yeah,
Keep the same die in that instead, because I think that would make much more sense for my character than the more I'm.
You'll just have a 6.
Yes, and that's fine.
So go ahead and roll
2d6.
2d6 and tell me what the higher one is.
2 3s, so unsuccessful.
So
Did we decide that I could help? I could assist?
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
So-
you could
Okay.
support. You would roll the same
Support,
same or
okay.
relevant skill, and you could give him up to a +1
Right.
or 2 if you ace.
Yeah.
I got a 6.
on a D8. Do you have a D8?
A
right?
6. Yeah, a 6 on a D8.
Okay,
and a
so
5
that's
on
a
my D6.
success. So you, T4,
That'd be
your
a
roll
four.
ends up with a 4. So that
Yeah,
is
so
a
then
success.
it's okay. Cool. Thank you for the help.
So, and that would make total sense, especially you guys
My specialty.
hacking together as
Yeah.
two computers, 2 androids. You will, when you get into the system, you can't necessarily pilot the ship. There is some sort of kind of a locked out barrier, like a firewall inside of there. It just so you can get it, but you are recognizing that in the software and in the hardware that's going on the ship, there's a reason for that firewall. Outside of that firewall, you can see a very strange program that is moving around the software and trying to access the software. And you can see some of it causing some power pulses and drops throughout the ship. And you are noticing, as you hacked into the system, you are noticing the same digital like structure that you saw in the small container that Bit had on the freight ship that sent out. By definition,
Okay.
he sent out a glitch into the machine.
Okay.
And they know of this. You guys remember, if you transfer that, there was a glitch in the machine for a reason, and it was to take control of the ship to shut it down. And then he was rebooting the system. But the glitch decided to stay
Okay.
because it is a sentient being.
Gotcha.
It's pretty easy for you to understand that.
Okay.
You've seen them
I would-
before in ships.
Gotcha. They are an AI of sorts, if you will.
Yeah, they're an AI. They manifest themselves into a kind of a power pulsing creature. That's the closest they can come to something that is recognizable. But they can access through software, hardware, and travel throughout the mechanism. But right now, you're finding that the coding and everything that Bit was doing was to shut that glitch out. So it's still there, but it can't. It's in the ship, but cannot access the ship at
It's
this
basically
point.
been like quarantined into a corner where it cannot.
Yep. Physically, it's on the ship,
Is-
cannot leave the ship, but it also can't get into the software of the ship. So it's on the ship.
Okay. Would I be able to discern whether or not I could go to a different access point of sorts to get past the firewall, or would I have to find a way past the firewall from anywhere?
The firewall at this point, it's not going to be accessible.
Okay. And it wouldn't be necessary to fly the ship.
No, the ship is basically stationary right now. You do know what's going on within the electronics. The other three of you are you guys coming back?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, on your way back, you come into the main room, and as you go into the main room, behind some of the chairs, you can see a very bright light starting to move through some of the cables that got chopped by a doll, and start to jump over into other cables. This bright light is moving very quickly around this room, but you don't know what that is.
This is new. This was not here before.
Is it just the three of us there, or are all five of us there?
The three of you are there.
In
It
that
depends
area.
on what Switch and T4 are doing. They're just one door away, and remember, it's the door that got hacked open with the chainsaw. So there's no real closed door between you two.
I think we should all reconvene. Let's all reconvene together and figure out what to do from here.
Well, I'm a little alarmed by these lights that are jumping from wire to wire.
Yeah, I would
that they were
assume
not
we
doing this
called
before.
them out. Like, hey, Switch,
Yeah.
hey, T4, come take a look
Switch
at this.
T4 Cole. You want to look at this, please?
And would I be able to make the reasonable deduction that is the manifestation of the glitch?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Right.
Not
It's
only do
basically
you
stuck
know
in the
of it,
wire.
You've seen it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's hopping
So-
from different wires that are on the ground that are unattached. So it's not going anywhere or everywhere, but it's going into the ones that have been cut off from power from the chainsaw massacre of the the chairs that happened before by Doll.
That's a glitch that was causing the power issues, which Bit set out to recover all of you from the chairs or whatever. But now it's decided to stay after he's done the power cycle, and as a result, he quarantined it into these cables. And so it's going to jump around. Should be mostly harmless until it gets past the firewall, which I don't think anybody here will be able to get past it, so I don't know that it will. But
So,
It's-
at this time, though, I would like everybody but T4 to roll a spirit roll.
What? Okay.
It should be your basic.
Oh, great.
attributes.
Oh, that's an ace. Hello.
Or
7.
And 6.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You always roll. Yeah, you always roll that on any check. It's only.
Oh,
in
this is
battle
gonna
that you
go
don't.
well.
Okay. So
Brucon
I got
got a 10.
a 1 for my spirit, but I got a 6 for my other 6.
Well, so it's only one roll. So you rolled
Okay.
your d6 is part of your roll. So
Okay.
you rolled a 6 on your d6.
Mm-hmm.
So you
But I
get
rolled
to-
a 1 on my d4.
Don't even worry about the d4 then.
Oh.
Take the d6 and roll it again because you
Okay.
aced it.
So the ace trumps a
Yeah.
critical fail? Okay.
Yep. So you have a total of 8 then, right? On your so 8.
Brucon has a 10.
Brag.
I got a 3.
Jace got a 7.
We got mucho spirit.
Okay.
We got spirit.
I
We
I
got
was
spirit.
just
So at this point,
I went there.
everyone, well, let's look. Brucon feels like a dull, strange feeling in his head, right where the port is from the halo in the back, but seems to go, oh, what the hell was that? The rest of you feel more of a pain, and you get confused a little bit, and you see flashes of that perfect vacation flashback, and then you come back to normal, and get a little bit scared at this point. So at this point, you would all but Brucon and T4, because this did not happen to T4, are considered shaken at this point. Something got into your brain and has confused you emotionally.
Right? Is there any sort of... Is that easily told from looking at them?
Oh yeah,
okay.
they start
Would I-
clawing like Doll would. I don't know what Doll's reaction, but I know that the clawing at the wall was one first thing before. I don't know, how would you guys like to react physically to being shaken by this? I don't want to speak for your characters.
I think that I am just repeating no, 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 no over and over again.
So it's easy for T4 to see Switch and Jace are definitely shaken. To see if Doll's shaken, you're not real educated
Right.
on their culture too much, but
Well, I would be able to
yeah,
notice.
Brucon would
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah,
know.
Brucon would
I knew
notice. He's
something
got
happened.
the ears back and like hissing at random places. Like you see stuff in the room.
Right.
Would I be able to make...
So I see her kind of freaking out, like she's on nip, and
So at this
I'll
point,
try to calm her down.
and you would do that. The three that are shaken aren't going to be able to do anything until they roll a spirit roll to get out of it. But
Okay.
during this time, I would like to draw a couple cards for Brucon and T4 because this glitch is attacking you in its physical form.
Ruh-roh.
Through Brucon's halo, T4 is not on the net at this point, but it could
Disconnected.
It can still physically come at you.
That's fine.
So, if you guys
Switch
wanna
would
draw
have
a card
sat
or-
down. Switch would have just sat down in this confusion. That's
do you want me
it.
to draw my own card, or do you want
It's up to you. Do you want me-
I mean,
I have a deck right. I even have the big fat
Ooh,
like savage.
I mean,
Use
World.
those.
it's yeah. So use those because
It's-
either that or I can showcase off some Cyberpunk cards. But no,
Ooh, oh, don't get me started on that right now. Okay,
exactly. That's what I was like. I mean,
don't even start.
I don't have a
We're
pencil and paper, so I'm really crappy at drawing cards. Please.
But depends on what the card is. So
Back
I will
to
go
the dad
ahead
jokes.
and Brucon, 10 of spades, and then a 4 of hearts for T4. So Brucon, you would be first in your action because this glitch already took its attack because you had no idea what was going on. You were trying to discuss it. And it took a shot at you. So, Brucon, what would you like to do? You have basically like free actions all you want, but you also have the ability to move and attack if you want in some way, shape, or form.
So the what is the perceived thing? Is it just this spark jumping back and forth?
But it's larger than that. It's probably about the size of a pineapple, and very bright. It flickers and shoots off a couple little sparks here back and forth, but you can tell that it's moving with purpose. It's not just moving in sort. It'll stop and move back to another cable. And the busted cables, as long as they're like 3 to 4 feet apart, it can hop from the next one. And you see it glowing through the cable, and you see it get larger and brighter and then go back into a cable. And it's finding all the cables in here, and they're pretty much, most of them are disconnected because of the chopping. So it's moving around this room very, very freely.
Okay, so and all 5 of us are in there. It appears that T4 and I are the only ones sort of not stunned. Correct?
Shaken.
Are they? Is everybody else like prone?
It's like being scared. It's not a stunned. It's more of a freaked out and just can't.
They're just like.
They're just scared. Like something got the jump on them emotionally and mentally.
Okay. The first thing I'm gonna do is try and grab probably Doll and whoever's next to her, and try and just leave the area. Just try and get them away from this Sparky. If it's a different room or something where, we're just not near it. So that would be my action.
Okay, so how would you like to do that? You want to push them? You want to pull them?
Yeah, pull them. I'll just try and grab one by each arm. I don't know who's next to Doll. That appears to be shaken.
I'd say Doll and Jace were probably closer than Switch was.
And Switch sat down.
Because Switch was
ground,
with and sat down on the ground. Doll is
probably closer to T4 over here.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna try and grab one of their arms with each of mine, and just say, "Guys, let's go this way. Let's go this way. Come on, let's go this way." And just pull them.
And as you're pulling, and that, I say I'd give you that as a free action, and go from there. Anything else you want to do at that point, or just get them out of the way?
Just get them out of the way.
Okay. So as you're pulling them back, you do hear Doll, of course, and hissing, and Jace going, no, getting pulled wherever they are at there. And then, you do get them at least like 10 to 12 feet away from where it's moving currently. T4, what would you like to do? You're on mute.
Yes, Hams, thank you.
I was like, his mouth is moving.
No, I'm just
System.
going.
Your place, pull your friends.
I would assume if you're chill with this Switch, T4 would like to try to pick up and fireman carry Switch out of the room real quick before doing a quick repair action to take off the shaken, if that's possible. And would T4 be able to make a relative deduction that the halos might be causing this effect?
Let me put it that do a notice first, I'd say, or either I don't know if you have electronics or notice. Notice will be fine.
Yeah. Okay. So 2d6 from me. Yeah. That's gonna be a 5.
Yep. So you definitely are you're noticing that when this occurred, when everybody got shaken, that these halos, you saw like a spark run through them.
Okay. So kind of
as it occurred.
okay.
So yes, you
So-
see that, and then you're trying to carry her out there and just trying to get rid of her shaken.
Yeah, using repair because that's how you would technically heal.
Yeah, it would be a
androids.
heal. So go ahead and do repair. Yeah, do a repair
Okay.
roll.
Okay. I'll do a repair roll, and then I would say, if it's all right with you as part of that repair roll, can I be removing the halo?
Not at this point.
Okay. Okay. That is an 8 on a D8. Hold please.
And then another one.
So that is 14. 8 plus
14.
6.
Okay, so you get to do some amazing flair on this one. So this is when you exceed the challenge by 4 or more. This is when it's kind of like a crit in a sense. You get to do whatever the heck you want. So yes, I would say at this point now you would be able to go ahead and get her off, them off into another room really quick, and be able to remove their halo and also remove their shaken. So they're back to almost like they know what the consciousness is, they know what occurred. The halo has been removed. And now I'd like everybody else that is still currently shaken to go ahead and do a spirit roll. And I want to tell you the mechanics that I'm doing on this side. The first time it was spirit against spirit, okay? As the glitch went at you, it was my spirit roll against your spirit roll. Now it's basically your spirit for yourself to try and get yourself not to be shaken. So the challenge level becomes just a 4. Before it went against, I rolled a 10. So that's why Brucon still felt it and it hurt, but could move forward. And I just want to tell you that's the mechanics that I'm using on the back end for people who are watching and haven't played Savage Worlds.
As
7.
As a flourish, when I'm being carried off, I would just start to mumble, "My name is Switch, and I give my consent."
It's very Lilu.
I'd say that
We would like to enter the premises. Do we have your consent?
as like T4 is like setting you down, and then he just kind of goes, all right, and then would insert. I assume you have one of the ports in the back of your neck.
I do.
He'd interface with you real quick and do a diagnostic reset type thing where it just resets the subroutines and stuff, and gets you back on your feet, and then also rips off the halo for good effect.
All right, and Doll, what did you roll for that?
Doggone 8.
8. Okay. So how would you guys like to come out of your shaken?
I think I'd like to, because I guess I'm seeing the library again flashing and whatever. I'd like to look at my research notes, my book that I keep, and it's got notes of things that happened after that library part, and that helps me ground into like, no, yes, we are on a ship, we are here.
Yeah,
I am now.
Yeah, and in that book you will read the stuff that happened when you were being mind controlled, all the stuff that occurred. It basically you're just reading it, you're remembering it, but you're reading it in the book as it starts to come back to you. And Doll,
You loaded your quick save.
Pretty much.
Doll, so Brucon was holding both of their hands as he was leading them out, but he had actually accidentally grabbed the scruff of her neck, and that motion kind of made her feel like familiar with, at home almost, and she remembered memories of the past, and she felt comforted and safer, and that's how she got out of it.
so Doll found her safe place with the comforts of being a cat from at home, and Jace found his comfort in his book. So that's very spot on. So now we're all back here again, and everybody's unshaken. You know what's in the room. You know what's attacking. Especially T4, you know specifically. You guys know exactly what it is. You don't know. I mean, you know exactly where it is and what it looks like. You have no idea what it really is. Switch would have an idea. Jace would have it written somewhere because you've been on ships before. and traveled and done work for other people. And yes, glitches are a thing. You know of them. You just haven't experienced them up close like this before. At this point, I think we could go ahead and draw initiative for everyone at this point, because you are now, this thing's coming at you. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
You want me to just draw for you guys?
I've got a deck. I went and found one. Might as well put my work to use.
Go for it.
I have one too, but you can draw for me.
Okay.
The 3 of
Unless
spades.
you draw bad, then I'll draw.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's debate. Let's see
can draw
how
from
you
your
draw first, and then we'll
And if
we'll
anybody,
bust out our own decks.
this is our first time doing full initiative. So the concept of initiative in Savage Worlds is a deck of cards, and as you draw them, it basically comes down to the number, of course, but then it comes down to the suit that it is, and it goes in order. And that's what's kind of cool about these cards is the suit is on order on the bottom, so I don't have to remember it, because the order goes from spades, hearts, diamonds, and then clubs. Okay, so you had a 3 of spades, which is good, right?
Yep.
And I'm just going to kind of go around the way my camera has it here. So let's do 3 there, and that is for Jace. And I'm going to give Doll, what is that? Ooh, a 10 of spades. Oh, dang. A 10 of spades.
Whatever's funniest.
And then the next one is going to be for Switch. 4 of hearts.
4 of hearts.
Your references are killing me.
4 hearts that beat as 1. I have no idea what you're talking about. Let's see. Doll, Jace, and then 4 of hearts. Switch. And then we'll go to Brucon. 3 of diamonds.
Yeah. What am I doing?
I don't know. This is just for order. And then T4, you'd be a 2 of diamonds.
It makes sense because we were both first.
So we'd be. It's almost right in order here. Doll would be able to go first, and then Jace, and then, if I'm not mistaken, Switch, and then Brucon, then T4.
This makes sense because she is a fighter. She's been raring to go.
Oh, especially that you're not
Doll's a little
shaken.
pissed off. Yeah.
Yeah,
You're probably pissed.
I am. What
Can I
was
ask a
that?
mechanics
Is
question?
it low cards go last?
Yeah.
Oh, I was
No,
a
it's just
4.
your
of
turn
diamonds.
is why. Diamonds
Oh.
come after hearts. That's why you're last.
Oh.
No, but I thought number what? You go by number first and then suit within the number,
Number, then suit.
right? Right. So if I was 3, I thought 3 was, I thought it was aces high, right? So if an ace, and then
you rolled a 3 of
2,
diamonds,
3, 4,
and
5.
he got a 2 of diamonds, so you go before T4.
So I'm
Yeah,
last.
I thought it was
then,
the other
right?
way.
'Cause I
I
got
thought,
Oh.
Because ace is first, and then it goes down from there, from what I understood.
okay, I misunderstood. I thought it was low numbers were first, and aces were considered like 1.
We will find out, but guess what? We're going to do it this way this time. So we can keep
That's
this train rolling. I will check on that, because that's totally could be true, for sure. But go ahead. Doll is pissed. What would you like to do?
So this is electricity, right? Like
Correct.
it's okay. Not entirely sure if I can fight electricity with a chainsaw.
But she's gonna try.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for it because she's mad, and she's mad. She doesn't really think about stuff. So chainsaw is. So is there a roll for hit and then a roll for damage? Okay. All right. So I don't think she hits. She got a 5.
That'll hit.
Oh, does it hit? Oh.
Yeah, it's more about do you succeed with the movement, and then you should have a damage
Yes.
roll, and
So
that
the
damage you don't roll an extra die, if that makes sense. You don't roll your extra d6. You roll whatever it says for damage.
Okay, yeah. So the damage is 2d6 plus 4. That's 13.
So, and you're taking your chainsaw?
Yeah, I'm taking my chainsaw.
Okay. So, as you're zipping through, it is starting to move. It's moving quite quickly, but you find resonance in something solid that doesn't even feel like anything you've ever cut before. It's almost like it pulses off, but you can see when it happens, the two sparks, the one spark turns into two, and then comes right back together. But you do notice that it just got a little dimmer as it jumped to the next. It got a little slower, a little dimmer as it popped into the other mechanics.
It's just like, rah!
And then Jace.
Great. So we got dragged into the other room, or towards the other room. I don't like fighting. So what I would do instead of like making any kind of actual attack is, and maybe this is too general, I'd like to use my science skill to maybe suss out a strategy for dealing with this. You know, if there's some specific way we can handle the wires, or, you know, a combination of hitting it with a chainsaw and maybe separating the wires enough where it can't jump anywhere. Would that be something I could do with science? That's...
Yes. Anything's possible. And especially since you're not a combative being that's staying true to who you are. So the concept would be...
Do you have any
yes.
books on
Do with and you just want to do with knowledge or education?
Or, I was going to say with either, I could do science, I have science, or even common knowledge if I've been around
science.
ships. And
I'd say science would be a little bit more like how things move, electrical moves and those things.
That'll be a 5.
5. So you're knowing that you're watching this happen and it hopping through different cables. You are finding that it can move quickly, even though it's slowed down a little bit after Dahl did strike it. It's still very, very quick. What you're noticing is how it's hopping from spot to spot. Is it's just using the cables that are currently there. So you know that if there's a way to get those cables in a certain way in the room to where it can stop it from moving all over the room, because you're noticing it can only hop like 3 to 5 feet between broken cables. So you are noticing that. So that's something that I'll give you as a free action because you're an android and you don't know it. So it's like you just knew it. You thought you read it, but it was just something in your brain. And then I'll give you some sort of movement action if you want to do something on top of that.
Sure. Yeah, I think I'll move. I guess I'll move into the room. My plan then, I guess, is to start finding all the broken pieces of wire and start shoving them kind of just into a pile in the middle of the room, so that the area that it's jumping in is smaller and smaller and smaller. You know, it'll still be moving, but instead of jumping here to here, it's just jumping here. Yeah,
and while it's gotten all the attention from Dahl, it's not that hard because it's taken a decent, at least an aggressive strike. So yeah, you get a considerable amount of them. You're kind of throwing them because you don't want to be too much in there, but you're kind of throwing.
Yeah, I'm just trying to throw into the middle of the room into a pile everything that's broken and disconnected that seems to be able to jump to and from.
Perfect. All right, and then switch.
Sorry, I was confused about initiative order. So Switch would do what they do best, which is there a way to, I don't know, safely plug in and try to stop the glitch from somewhere?
You're plugged into the machine. You can plug into the ship itself, but
yeah,
it's locked out of the ship to the actual physical electronic parts of the ship. It's only in the dead cables. That is definitely something you can notice.
It's in the dead cables. Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
it's hopping around the cables that aren't attached to the ship because that's
I'm
the
trying
only
to
thing you
figure
have
out-
access.
Trying to figure out what I have. Like, I have a shotgun, which is a great idea on my part.
It's no chainsaw.
Shoot, shoot.
I mean, I'm just trying to match her rage at this point.
It's hard to do.
It really is. I mean, at least the chainsaw cuts. Shotgun, not so much.
It helps if you add a rar to it.
There you go. I mean, I have no idea if this is gonna work. I don't know what to do except try to shoot the wire. You know what? I'm gonna try to shoot the wire, and this is why. I've just been stunned. I was shaken and then awoken, and probably realizing what this is, I would probably just be fly off the handle and try to shoot it. So let's do that.
Okay. And are you trying to shoot the actual light itself?
Yes.
The glitch?
Yeah. It's a terrible idea because I'm a damaged ship, but that's just a reaction.
Hey,
That's great to do in a spaceship.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, why not?
I know. After I told Doll not to do it.
So go ahead and take that strike at the glitch.
Right. Tell me what I roll for equipment. Then let's see.
Where you at? Oh, because it's a 3d6.
Yeah, right. That's the damage, but the range. But then what's the attack? That's what I don't know.
Oh, on that one, I think what they're using, if it's arranged, I think agility was what they were using for something that's a little bit ranged.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
When it's just because you're not really ranged. Otherwise,
Right.
I would make your difficulty level higher.
Okay.
Because you are in a contained area. So let's go ahead and roll an agility.
Then a 4.
A 4, okay, and then go ahead and roll damage on that. It's a
There also is a shooting stat
Yeah.
or skill, but
well, there it is. It's a D4.
It is. So I should do a D4 instead of a D6.
There it is.
Yeah. What page?
We got a D4
roll-
and a D6. You roll both.
All right. I rolled a 4 on the D4.
And you
I
roll it
rolled
again.
again,
a deuce on the D6.
Okay, so you rolled a D4 again.
2.
Okay, so you did get a 6. So it's success there. And when it comes to how close did you want to get to it? How about that?
Well, I will have been at my chair, and let me see. I was brought in by T4, and he plugged into me and gave me the download. So wherever I was standing, it would have been a very reactionary.
Right, but how close would that have been to where Doll was? Because Doll has taken a chop at it.
I don't know. I admit I don't know.
Make a
how
decision because
close.
you can have movement.
Okay.
You have movement and attack.
Okay, so then I'll
How
move
close do you want to be
towards.
to this thing?
I will move in a safe distance. I mean, my shotgun is something that I
5
would know
feet,
because I
10
have
feet,
it.
20 feet?
10 feet. 10
Okay,
feet. 10
so
feet.
roll
How's that?
2d6.
Cool. 2 and a 1. Shit, 3.
Okay, so it does find purchase. You can see that it still kind of ricochets off, but it does actually create like a almost a pothole inside of a dark, and then it comes back. It still ricochets off there, but it is reacting to it and moving just a little bit slower. It wasn't as much of a purchase as Doll got on it, but it did find a home and did change its movement. Next up,
right.
we've got T4.
Doll, maybe I was wrong about your chainsaw.
RIP headphone users
No, it's-
for the shotgun.
Let's go with it's Brucon. Let's go Brucon.
Yeah, I thought we were going with
Yeah.
me.
Sorry, I had to flip over my sheet. Brucon, what would you like to do?
So okay, so right now, how close are the two sets of wires that the thing's jumping back and forth between?
We can only jump seems to be 3 to 5 feet. but they're all laid out everywhere, and then there's a pile of them. You can see Jace starting to do a pile of them kind of in the middle of the room where all the sawing was. He kind of runs in and shoves a few in there, throws some in there, as you see a pile start to accumulate over there. But it's jumping 3 to 5 feet through different cables throughout the room.
Okay, do I see any fire suppression equipment, such as like a fire extinguisher or anything like that nearby?
No. Their safety is not their main priority.
Safety third. I mean, oh, this might be a little too much meta knowledge, but no, I mean, knowing what I know,
What would Brucon do?
shooting something at electricity doesn't do anything.
What would
But
Brucon
I don't know that Brucon would do that.
But it is a sentient being. It's not just, I mean, you don't know that,
But-
but Switch and Jason
So I just
and T4.
saw physical attacks actually seem to have an impact on this thing, though. Correct?
Yes.
So I saw a chainsaw and I saw whatever she shot, or
Shotgun, double
whatever Switch shot,
Double barrel,
Yeah.
sawed-off shotgun.
and it seemed to do something.
Correct. What would
Something went
Brucon want to do?
kablooey, and this thing. I don't want to get close to it.
Yeah, no one's looking down on my chainsaw now, huh?
Be fair,
All right,
never
I'm
looked at
gonna
my
like.
chainsaw.
I'm gonna make a sigh of resignation that I have to divulge this, but I'm gonna pull out my Derringer, and I'm gonna take a shot.
Get a pew in there. Pew. And you, let me see, Brucon here. There it is.
Lap?
Shooting. Go ahead and take a shot.
How do I take a shot?
That is the same with the shooting skill, which you have a
Agility?
D4. No, shooting. Because I think, yeah, the shooting skill that you have
Oh,
should be under skill. It's a
D4.
D4. So roll a D4 and a
And-
D6.
Fantastic. Ugh. Oh, I got a 6 on the D6
Okay, roll it again.
and a 2.
Okay, so
So
an 8. And how far away from it? You're like, let's say 5, 10, or 20.
I guess 10, pretty close to where Switch was.
Okay, so I'd say, yeah, go ahead and roll 2d4
2d4. Okay.
since it's not a spread.
All right. 7.
7. So what you do see is this, you somehow find the very center of this glitch that's running, and you subtly pull it out. I mean, nobody even really sees you do it, let's just say. But they do hear a pop, and then you see the glitch itself, almost like a hole opens up and goes, it hits it, and it turns dark on the inside. And all that darkness now becomes encompassed by the light, but it shrinks exactly that much. So whatever you took out of the center of it, it's replenished it with whatever it had left. And it's moving considerably slower than it was before. T4, what would you like to be doing?
Have it or slash it? I would certainly like to try that if that's possible.
What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to use my katana to slash things.
Let's see it happen. Strike it.
That's my. I have to roll a melee attack, which I think is athletics for me, or fighting.
That is by far the funniest image. You just see someone beep beep boop boop and then a katana.
He probably said something really
that was-
cool.
Yeah, I think it's.
Watch your mouth, mister.
Is fighting the right melee one? Yeah, look.
Should be, yes.
And then it is a d6 plus a d8, correct? For me? Okay,
Always roll a d6 on the attack, not on the damage.
gotcha. D8, d6. That's going to be an unfortunate number of 2.
For damage?
4 to hit.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Which I think makes sense.
well, as you're swinging it through, we were hearing, I think we all kind of checked out with the hearing part because all we could hear was the room could only hear you saying beeps because everybody's in battle right now. So
Yep.
you do a nice floret, and the sword's coming through, and you hear boop 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 boop, and you hit the cable next to it, and you do cut the cable, but nothing occurs, and everybody saw that one. They didn't see Brucon, but everybody saw what happened to T4. And at that point, all of you except for, well, let's say Dahl, Brucon, and Jace roll a spirit at this point.
Hello, that's what's up. That's what's up. 16.
Oh, dang.
Double
And
ace.
Dahl,
She got a 4.
4.
Mhm.
Brucon,
5.
5. Dahl and Brucon, you definitely feel a pulse come through the halo, through the base of your skull. Your hair, all your hair kind of goes up. Your tail goes straight. Yeah, it's both of you turn into a hiss. And at that point, Jace, on the other hand, over here is like, I've seen this before. This is stupid. I wrote this down. This means nothing to me. And as that, your spirit rises up and you get almost like, I know what to do, and start shoving even more into the center of the room and laying out one long cable. And as that one long cable, it hops onto that cable and comes in. And now it's in the center of the room. And Dahl and Brucon are at this point shaken, but they're staring at this whole thing happening in real time. And in the middle, you do see something start to slow down and slow down and slow down and slow down. So there's a weak little flicker in the middle. And at this point, you can tell Switch and T4 can now tell, because they've been jacked into the machine, that the firewall is now gone. You guys have full access to the control of the ship. And you hear a familiar voice encompass the room. I am always here.
That's not familiar to me, correct?
No. And that's where we'll end our episode today. Screw you.
No, creepy Hal is back.
It's okay.
I would have said, but I would have said Hal. I would have said
Open
Hal.
the pod
so
bay doors,
Laura
would you?
knows who we're talking about.
Yeah, and it would be easy to explain, especially between Switch and T4. What it was, it almost could be like a data transfer to go, here's what we know and how.
Yeah. And he would probably be like, oh, the glitch. Got it.
So that's where we're going to end our episode today. Hopefully that was enjoyable for the people that are watching. Hopefully it was enjoyable for you guys. It was very enjoyable for me. Sorry, we did run a little bit over, about 10 minutes. So thanks for your tenacity and diligence, everyone. And thanks for being here. But we will give this another shot. We will be here next Sunday. You'll see some familiar and new faces next Sunday. So tune in. And this is how I normally do this on all my other shows. But now it's a new group of people. So at the end of the game, what we normally do is we do a little, I know it sounds cheesy, but it's just who I am. We say, until then, let's pull up a chair, and we all say, make time to tabletop. Do you want to try it?
Yeah.
Until
Don't
next
imagine this going
Sunday,
well.
make sure to pull up a chair and make
time
to
tabletop.
Tabletop.
We're
We nailed it.
we're pros at this.
We
All right,
nailed
guys.
it, man. We nailed it.
We'll see everybody
you,
watching.
Scooter.
We will see
Thanks,
you
Scooter.
next Sunday.